The Blasted-Lands is one of the most hostile places in the Eastern Kingdoms. There's nothing but red, barren, fel-scorched wasteland in every direction, and almost nothing grows or survives here for long. Yet people keep coming. They keep trying to make something work in a place that has repeatedly destroyed everything that tries to exist in it. That's what the Blasted-Lands is actually about. The specific, relentless way that the zone consumes everything that tries to stand against it. Before the Dark Portal existed, this wasn't a wasteland at all. The Blasted-Lands was once the southern part of a vast swampland called the Black Morass. It wasn't a pleasant place, but it was alive, with marshland, water, creatures and vegetation. Then Medivh opened the Dark Portal and the orcs poured through into Azeroth, and the wars that followed changed everything. At the end of the Second War, the Dark Portal was destroyed and the explosion tore Morass apart, separating it into the Blasted-Lands and the Swamp of Sorrows. The energy released by the portal's destruction permanently transformed the landscape. The soil turned red, the rocks scorched crimson, the water dried up and the swampland became a barren desert. Even the wildlife was changed. Basilisks, scorpions and hyenas moved into a place where other creatures couldn't survive. One decision caused a moment of destruction that changed the land, and that's the Blasted-Lands, a place that was made like this, and it never recovered. After the Second War, the Alliance knew that they needed to keep a watch over the Blasted-Lands. The Dark Portal was gone, but the threat of another invasion wasn't. So Archmage Khadgar commissioned the construction of Nethergarde Keep, a fortress of mages and paladins built on a high bluff overlooking the only road into the Blasted-Lands. Nethergarde Keep stood for years, even through the reopening of the portal and invasions from the Legion. The mages studied the effects the portal's energy had on the land, and the warriors fought off demons and ogres that threatened the keep. Then the Iron Horde came through the Dark Portal, and when the Iron March invaded Azeroth, their first target was Nethergarde Keep. But the Alliance wasn't prepared for their weapons, and the fortress built specifically to prevent invasions through the Dark Portal was destroyed by an invasion. Nethergarde is now a ruin. The keep that stood for so long against so much was eventually consumed by the exact thing it was built to stop. Then there's the Tainted Forest. In the southwest of the zone sits a forest, lush and green, growing in the middle of the fel-scorched desert, and at first glance, it looks like it shouldn't exist here. Before Cataclysm, it was instead the Tainted Scar, which was a corrupted patch of ground where demons had taken root and Lord Khazark made his base. When Cataclysm reshaped the world, a Gilnillian druid named Mar Wormform arrived in the Blasted-Lands with a group of refugees and did something remarkable. Using his druidic power, he created a great tree called Malduraz, and from underneath its root he entered a deep druidic trance and began to bring life back to the Tainted Scar. Slowly the ground responded, plants grew and trees spread, and the Tainted Scar began to transform into something living. The refugees were able to build a small village called Surwich on the edge of the growing forest. For a moment it worked, life came back, but the demonic energy in the soil was still there. It had been there too long and ran too deep. And whilst Wormform's attention was on fighting back to corruption, demons infiltrated Malduraz itself. The great tree was corrupted from the inside. The forest grew, but it grew wrong, and eventually the corruption claimed Wormform as well. Now he sits inside the ruined Malduraz, surrounded by demons, and continues to grow a forest that has become something twisted and dangerous. He tried to heal the Blasted-Lands, but the Blasted-Lands made him part of the problem. That's the pattern that runs through everything in this zone. The land was transformed by the portal destruction and never recovered. Nethergarde Keep was built to stop invasions and was destroyed by an invasion. The Tainted Forest was grown to restore life and became something corrupted and hostile. Everything that comes to the Blasted-Lands with a purpose to guard, to heal, or to survive, eventually gets turned against itself by the very thing it was fighting. War does not simply visit these lands, it lives here. The violence thrives in the past, present, and future. It's a quote said by Zidormi in the game about the Blasted-Lands, and that's exactly what the Blasted-Lands feels like when you walk through it. Not a place where something went wrong once, but a place where things going wrong is only constant. The red rocks weren't always red, the desert wasn't always a desert, and Nethergarde Keep wasn't always a ruin, and the forest wasn't always corrupted. Everything here was something else once, before the Blasted Lands got to it, and the Dark Portal still stands, still open and still waiting. If you'd like to see more videos where I break down parts of Azeroth, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. More videos like these are on the way. In the meantime, why not check out my Blasted Lands travel guide, where I explore the zone as if it were a holiday destination.